metaverse, then it gives you like then you have the NFT, then you can like bring it between like the virtual and the physical world, right? So what's the difference between that versus like example in the I just sign up for account, then I just buy this thing online, and then it's still credited under my account, right? Like if I just sign
Oh
up as
yeah,
an account, like e-commerce like that. Like is there a big difference?
yes, correct. Okay, so what you are saying is that compared to like connecting to, let's say I sign up for a Prada account and then I buy the Prada bag, right, from their
Yeah,
website,
yeah, yeah.
compared to
Yeah.
like the whole scenario that I printed out. I think a
Hmm.
few differences is where the data and transaction history is stored, right? When let's say you go onto Prada's website and you buy from them, their database might be using Amazon web servers, right? And basically that data is stored there, which means there's a particular point in time where it's possible for you to have placed your order and yet your product don't come and you lodge a complaint, right? And somehow their back end don't really have a log that you bought, that you made a purchase. And then there's this conflict issue here, right? That whether you bought it, have you received it or not? But if you put everything on the blockchain, when you let's don't talk about like the metaverse and the virtual world, right? Just this purchase itself. Imagine this purchase itself is done on the blockchain, right? You pass some Ethereum, let's say, to the smart contract, and then the smart contract updates the state that your address or your identifier has bought like a Prada bag, and within the NFT, right, it says the model of the Prada bag. It says whether it's delivered or not. So all this thing now is on the blockchain, and basically now Prada has no way to refute the fact that you have placed your order because it is apparent on the blockchain with the transaction history and the transaction logs that it is there. So just very quickly, without all the metaverse and stuff, like the difference between blockchain and traditional data storage, that is the difference law in terms of proving something has happened. Yeah, that is the difference. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing too.
Okay, no problem. Can you provide a high-level demonstration of minting an NFT? Okay, so minting an NFT, hold on. So minting an NFT, right? There are a few ways that you can go about minting an NFT. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so for example, like this is OpenSea, right? I can basically just create from here. Yeah, so it's as easy as you all can see my screen, right? Sorry, yeah. So a very high level of minting an NFT is over here. Basically, I can upload an image. I put my name, my external link, which can be your website or stuff like that. I provide a description, and then I mint it individually. In fact, that was also how this guy did it. Like every single day he came on the platform. Think about it as like Carousel, right? Every single day he came on the platform and he uploaded an image onto OpenSea. And yeah, and then he basically states the price that he's willing to sell it at. That's the simplest way to launch, or that's the simplest way to get an artwork onto the blockchain. Right? Of course, when you sort of submit this picture onto the blockchain as a listing, you need to pay a certain fee. Yeah, you need to pay a certain fee for this transaction to happen, because any transaction that happens that changes the state of the blockchain, that says that this picture is now on the blockchain and is available at 0.1 Ethereum, let's say, that is a change to the state of the blockchain, and every changes needs to be paid in terms of transaction fee to mutate the state of the blockchain. Sorry, that was a bit complicated. Yeah, but basically you have to pay a fee, a small fee to get this listed. Think about it as Carousel, but you have to pay a small fee to get your item on the blockchain. That's the high level way of minting, right? The other way of minting, so for example, if you look at Clonex, this collection has 18.8K. So obviously they didn't do that for 18.8K times. And of course they will have to pay 18.8K amount of fees for each of the image that is being minted, right? So instead what happens is that they create a website. So let's look at their website. Okay, their website changed a bit. Hold on, this is their website. Their website is very well built also actually. Yeah, so this is their website, right? And you don't really see the min function here, but basically think about it as there's a section over here, and instead of review, right, it says the word min, which means buy. So they'll see that, oh, I'm dropping my collection at 12 p.m. tonight, and you can buy it from this website. So then everyone will be camping at their website, right? That's also where sometimes the website goes down. And then when people are buying, right, what you're doing is basically you're minting from their smart contract. Then this gets a little bit more complicated, right? So if you go into each of these NFT, I mean, if you have developed background, you should be able to follow. You'll see that there's a detail over here that shows you the contract address, right? And this is the token ID, right? And you can see the token standard here is ERC721 and it's on the Ethereum. So if we were to go into the smart contract, right? So what you probably need is the Solidity file, right? So you can see this is clonex.sol. So you write a contract where people are able to mint. So if I just search for, yeah, so yeah, basically over here you can see they have a mint transfer function, right? Similar to how you write your, okay, not similar to Python, but how you have functions in Python or JavaScript or whichever language that you guys are coding in. You write a function to mint it, right? And essentially you ignore all this. It goes to a save mint function, which says that the first guy will say that, hey, then there's this token ID counter, right? So it's saying that, hey, can you mint token ID 1 to this address? So 2 is an address over here as the input argument. So they are saying, hey, can you mint, sorry, it's a bit small, right? So it's saying, hey, can you mint token ID 1 to this address, right? Then of course we need to check that the person pay the right amount of money, right? So we mint it to the address, and that is how like the first guy got it, right? So if you go all the way down, you can see over here, right? This guy, this is the whole transaction history of this item here on top here, right? And you can see that the first guy who minted it, right? It's from a now address. So this now address, think about it as giving birth to the token ID, right? So now address is like from no one, it's minted, it's being created from a now address. Then essentially they started to have transactions between each of this person and then now the final holder. Yeah, so essentially the high level to create an NFT is you write a smart contract, right? That is your this smart contract, which have the functions you need to mint a token ID to someone, an address, and make sure they pay the right amount and stuff like that. So you create a smart contract, you have your website, which allows people to mint. Of course, you can choose not to create a website, then people will have to manually come over here to the right contract, right? And you can see over here, I can call this function over here. So when I call this function over here, I'll need to pay a certain amount of money to mint it, right? So there are two ways so you create a smart contract, you have a website which connects to this minting function. And then once people mint it, it will appear on OpenSea. It will automatically be indexed by OpenSea, which means OpenSea will look at all these contracts, all these ERC721 contracts out there. And then once there's a token for it, it will show up on the marketplace. Yeah, then that's where the owner will then come in, and the owner will be able to set up this banner on top that you see, this profile picture, this description, right? They can also set the royalties for it as well. Yeah, and then all these things over here are all done by OpenSea, right? You see all this filtering of assets, they're all done by OpenSea, right? So then of course on the back end, you have to generate, oh sorry, I missed out the whole part on generating the art images, right? So you need to have an artist to create all the assets, right? So you can see essentially they all have the same skeleton function, skeleton structure, which is like this. And what you have is like different eyes, different head, different hair, different eyes, different bubbles, different mouth and stuff like that. So to see how, then you need the image, right? You need to randomly generate this through a script. So depending on how many you want to sell, you randomly generate 10,000 or 20,000. And then what you do is you upload all this to something called the IPFS. So to make it simpler, IPFS, think of it as your Google Drive. or Amazon Web Server, but decentralized. It's like the decentralized storage version of like Google Drive. So you upload all this, right? Is programming knowledge required to create NFTs? Is it a must to code out smart contracts? No. So the first approach that I said was here, you come to OpenSea, you click on create. Then over here, you can just upload your artwork. This is like the no-brainer way to get an artwork. But of course, you can imagine you have to do this manually, right, one by one. And also you pay the fees to get it on the blockchain. Whereas for this other method, you don't pay the fees. The people who are buying your NFTs are paying the fees, right? So maybe to show you the metadata, so that you kind of understand how it works, right? Over here. So you see this thing over here, right? This is like the server that is storing their metadata. So, oh, I can't. How do I open this? Hold on. Let me figure out how to. Okay, never mind. Basically you'll be able to see like the metadata of the storage, which is similar to what I showed just now. Okay, sorry, did I miss out any questions? Yeah, so website, smart contract, and the artwork. You essentially need these three things. Of course, you need to build your community also, right? So you need to have people in your Discord, have people following your Twitter. Yeah. I mean, if you want your project to be successful, you need a lot of people anticipating for your drop. So you need to like, it's marketing stuff, right? So you need to tease people and stuff like that. Make sure people are following your projects. I'm just interested in being a blockchain developer. Where do I start? So first off is you need to decide which blockchain you want to develop on. Different blockchain require different programming language. Require you to be proficient, okay, not proficient, require you to pick up different programming language. So for Ethereum, it's Solidity. For Solana, it's Rust. For Tezos, you have SmartPy. You have Lego as well. And then from there, once you decided, start by building like a few simple projects. So like the first project I did in school was like a crowdfunding project. So basically you have a smart contract that allows people to create projects, create campaigns, right? And then someone can come in to donate certain amount to the campaign, and then the money is stored in the campaign, and then like basically yada yada. So from there, I think you can go to YouTube, you will see a lot of resources. Start working on like small projects, or basically just understand the fundamentals of blockchain. Okay, sorry, understand the fundamentals of blockchain first. It's very important to understand what is blockchain, like why is it so like hype and stuff, like what's the whole idea behind it. Can you go through how to start an NFT project? Yeah, so I think I repeat, first of all, is to get an artist to start drafting out some artworks. Decide what kind of NFT project you want to launch. Is it a 10,000 piece of generative artwork? Like, is it something like Clonex where you have 20,000 pieces? Or is it something that is like Gozali where you upload everything manually, right? Because maybe you draw one piece of art every 3 days and it's very unique and it's a one-of-one, right? And you want to upload it to sell. Then you can do it like him, where you do it manually through a process where you create it. Yeah, then if you're going through the generative kind, then you need an artist, you need people to market your project, you need a developer to create a smart contract, and then a website to mint it from. Yeah, other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Are there any more questions, or did I not answer any of them correctly? Feel free to type them out again or let me know. If not, I think I can wait for 5 more minutes, and then if there are really no more questions, then we can end the session. Okay. I don't think there are any more questions. Sorry, who's the one in charge from SMU? I'm not sure. You want to take over or like end the session? Brian, is there anything that I missed out? No, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it's Russell who is he here?
Yeah, hi guys.
Or
I think thank you for your time. I think if there's nothing else, yeah, we can call it a day. Yeah. Thank you for your time. It was a wonderful sharing session.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for your time, guys. Happy Chinese New Year to you.
okay, thank you everybody and have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.